Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about my book, The Worst Book I'll Ever Write. I have written others, but The Worst Book I'll Ever Write is one that, for me, is kind of like a, what do you call it? It's the key one. I've been thinking about it, and just how, when I wrote that, no one knew about it. And I was just trying to make myself feel like I could finish something, like I wasn't a failure in life, because that's how I felt at the time. The ironic thing is, I felt like a failure in life many times since then. And I get frustrated at myself because I think you wrote a whole book about basically wanting to do things and actually doing them, and you don't seem to do the things that you want to do. But as I've been thinking about it, even as I'm talking, I'm like, you know what? There was a lot of things I've wanted to do, and I've just made them happen and done them. And the result is always perfection, really, even in my own, like, even in the realms of imperfection is perfect. Perfectly imperfect. But there's one thing I've wanted to do, which is why I set up the Worst Book Company, and that is to speak. I've wanted to speak for a long time. I've done talks, and I don't have a fear of public speaking. Obviously you get nervous when you've got to speak in front of an audience, but I don't fear it. But I'm also recognize that when I do anything publicly, that's when that kind of, I need to know exactly what I'm going to say. I need to know exactly what I'm going to do. And then that stops me from doing it. So I'm going back to The Worst Book I'll Ever Write, and what I did to do that, which was that I just wrote it. No one knew about it until it was finished. And so what I've set my goal for 2025 is to just start posting on YouTube and posting videos. I don't know how many I'm setting myself at this point, but just to do some videos talking about the worst book I'll ever write, the experience I had after I wrote it as an author, for me, what it means to be an author, some tips, I guess, on writing, if that's what you want to do, writing books, writing your life story, like all of this stuff that is inside of me that I have learned through just my life, and also since I became an author. And then the other side I want to talk about is around career and courage, because I never set out in my life to become this best-selling author. Like, that wasn't my dream. My dream was to fly. Fortunately, I'm doing that now, but I didn't start flying until I was 40 years old, and I'd wanted to fly since I was 8. In the midst of that journey, I've forged a life and a career path in writing and as an author and in lots of other areas, and still ended up doing what I wanted to do, even though it was at a later date. And I just think there's so much to unpack and to learn about, not just patience, but the courage to be where you are right now and get all the little gems. My mum calls them the golden nuggets. Get all the gems that you need along the way. And really to talk to you about what it was like when I started flying. I'd wanted initially to be an air hostess, and then people were like, you're just too intelligent to be an air hostess, you should be a pilot. And that's where that kind of like, oh yeah, I could fly the plane came from. But when I actually started flying, something incredible happened, which was, I realized that, number one, I didn't want to be a pilot anymore. And number two, I was so grateful for all of the experiences, the life experience that I had had even before I step foot into the flight deck of a commercial airliner, which was the first time was when I was like 40 years old. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, what do you do when your plan A doesn't work out when you think it's going to? And really to analyze your plan A. Is that really what you want? Or is it what other people say you should want? So I just think there's just so much I want to unpack around my book, the journey I went on, kicking and screaming a lot of the time. And yeah, just how I've had a career path, which never felt like a career path because I never wanted to be an author. In that kind of, this is my work. And as a child, I'd always wanted to write books and stuff. But yeah, like, how do you then live in the present, gathering your nuggets, your golden nuggets along the way, and almost that be you weaving together this career path, which isn't just a job. It's crazy. And it's hard to explain in one video, and that's why I'm setting myself that challenge of doing YouTube videos that may not be perfect. And, you know, I may not say the things in a way that people understand. But that's exactly what I did in my book. I literally wrote that book with the intention of people not getting it, it not having great grammar, not having great spelling, not being really good. But I ended up writing a great motivational book, which I wasn't intending to even write. And people saw and found things in it that I didn't even intend to put in there. So we're going to go with this, with YouTube. We're going to do and use the same methodology. I like that word recently. I've been using it quite a lot, which is just to talk about this stuff, just as me, as it comes to me. And more for me getting out than necessarily wanting to speak, you know, in terms of strategically to someone, but just me getting it out, because that's exactly what I did with the worst book I'll ever write. Just got it out, and then it touched the people that needed to be touched with the book. So yeah, let's go and let's see where this leads. But I'm about to go to the shops now. It's really windy outside. Quite glad I'm not flying and having to kind of land like this in the wind. But yeah, that's what I've been feeling this morning. And, you know, with on the 8th of December, I could say, right, 2025, this is what I'm going to do. But I'm starting now, because do you know what? One thing that all of these years have taught me is that tomorrow is not a guarantee. All you have is this moment right now. And in this moment right now, I want to say, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to speak, post, talk about the things around my book, around this crazy career path that I forged and created for myself, to finally end up flying and understanding the deeper meaning of what it actually means to fly. It's not just about getting an aeroplane and going in the sky. It's about flying in my whole self, grateful for my life, and the struggle, as well as, you know, like the valleys and the mountaintops. Talk about it. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's see if anyone actually is interested, and if you're not, that's okay, because I'm doing what I need to do right now. So anyway, go to the shops. Peace out. Thank you for listening. Ciao.